Sure, plenty of places have already called The Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt one of the greatest games of all time, and they might be right. But PC codes for the epic RPG from CD Projekt Red just went out yesterday, so you'll have to stomach us getting our review done a little bit after the rest of the known world. Today we'll go into our early thoughts after spending the first couple of hours in Geralt's final adventure, with the full review coming next week. I was surprised to find that I can easily run Witcher 3 on Ultra with my setup. Yes, I do have a 980, not something that everybody is privy to, but I also have a last generation i5. I think the SSD and the 16 gigs of DDR3 are helping compensate for an i5 that's below the recommended specs, and I'm still getting 60 frames a second. I've also tested the game on Ultra with my gaming laptop, which uses a more recent i7, a high RPM HDD, and 16 gigabytes of DDR3 as well, and wields a mobile NVIDIA 770. Similar results there as well, with the frames only dropping to around 50 a few times so far. Now I will say that if you have an older system or an older video card, maybe in the 600 range for NVIDIA, you're probably going to have to take a hit on the graphics, probably around somewhere in the medium range, but even on medium, the game still looks great. Sure, it's not ultra, it's not super crisp what you see on the PS4 or the high-end PCs, but trust me, by dumbing the graphics down a little bit, you're not going to suffer too much. Now, stability-wise, the game's been a bit of a mixed bag so far. While it runs very smoothly and load times are speedy, I've had a couple of random crashes as well. Once when alt-tabbing out, and once when starting a game of Gwent, the title's own self-contained card game. I also completely lost sound on one occasion, and the physics of the game have glitched out my horse and random NPC's clothing or armor a few times as well. Now, I won't belabor the mechanics of the game here, as I think it's fair to say that most of the readers of this site know what an open-world RPG is all about. What I will say is that I've played Wild Hunt for about 3 hours, equally with the controller and the mouse-keyboard combo. Both have their drawbacks. The mouse and keyboard makes controlling Geralt in the world a fair share easier, while the controller seems to be better suited to combat and menu browsing. It's clear that CD Projekt Red tried their absolute damnedest to make the gameplay well across platforms, though, and PC gamers won't be disappointed into thinking that this is just another console-first game. Now, combat has been absolutely stellar so far, with subtle improvements over Assassins and Kings that make the whole experience more tactile while still retaining the need to keep your wits about you. Of course, the devs have gone ahead and given players multiple difficulty levels, from the most casual people that just kind of want to see the story and see the sights, to the hardest of hardcore, with the rule changes to meditation and healing at higher levels that will make the game an absolutely punishing adventure for players that are looking for a challenge. I loved the original Witcher, despite its issues, no matter how dated it is these days. And The Witcher 2 was a game that I never really could sink my teeth all the way into. Something about the story and the presentation did not ring true to me. It was too far of a departure from the original game. But with The Wild Hunt, it feels like CD Projekt Red has found a way to merge their original inspirations with the more open and varied world they sought to create in Witcher 2. So far, none of the quests feel incidental or needless. Even helping a lady get her prized frying pan back sets fire to a deeper story hidden within the details. Where, say, Dragon Age Inquisition felt content to send you on dozens of collection quests that really had no point, Wild Hunt takes pride in giving weight to even the mundanest of tasks. Mundanest. Well, probably not a word, but we'll just let it go. Now, it's still way too early to assign a score to this one, as we have dozens of hours left to go, but so far, The Witcher 3 feels like it just might live up to the monstrous amounts of hype being pushed behind the game. There's definitely little else on my mind right now aside from pressing on with the journey, despite the fact that I've had barely a wink of sleep in the past 3 days, and that's a surefire hint that a game has something special hidden up its sleeve. Stay tuned for our full review late next week. We'll have the video review, the written review, the whole 9 yards. Thanks for watching. I'm Bill Murphy. This is MMORPG.com.